Namaste, welcome back. Welcome to Ayur-Bodha. Myself, Dr. Mahesh. Today, we are going to discuss one of the most important topic, that is DNA repair and Ayurveda. Whether Ayurveda has anything about DNA repair, prevention of mutations and all. Because you all know that genetic disease can only be prevented, right? It is the disease is to be prevented, right? So we'll try to understand, we'll try to search or discuss about what Ayurveda says about DNA repair, right? So first of all, two things we need to understand is what is DNA damage and what is mutation, right? DNA damage is any chemical or physical change in the structure of DNA, right? Any change in chemical or physical structure or alteration in the DNA structure, and which is actually corrected by or repaired by the body, right? Usually our own cells repair that one. Right now, what is mutation? Mutation is failure of body to repair the DNA damage, whatever damage has happened to DNA. If our body fails to repair that one, or if it repairs in abnormal way, or if we can consider like mal healing of a wound. So if the DNA repair is mal repaired, if the DNA is mal repaired, whatever damage has taken place, if that is not correctly repaired, then that will become a permanent change, right? That will become a permanent change, and that that considered as mutation, right? Permanent DNA damage is mutation. In short, I'm telling, right? Not to go into too deep. Okay, now how DNA repair happens in the body, right? Don't worry about these technical things, because these all the things are not in our control. These all happen inside our body. Whatever around these are there, some of things that are in our control, which we'll discuss. Now, how a DNA repair happens? It is just to maintain a genome in a proper way, in its normal physiological way. So DNA, whatever damage happens, DNA damage will be happening every day in day out, because of the exposure to present day chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers and all, right? So now, when this DNA damage has happened, how it is repaired? There are several methods. I'll read them. Okay, I'm not good in the technical terms also. First one is DNA reversal. It is direct reversal of the damaged DNA, direct reversal. Second one is base excision repair. Third is nucleotide excision repair. Fourth is mismatch repair. And the fifth one is recombinational repair, right? Some other minor methods, stages are also there, but these are the predominant five things that are involved in DNA repair, right? Now, very important thing that we need to focus on, because that repair mechanism is not in our control, but what enables that, what helps that repair mechanism, maybe can be in our control, right? What are the key factors that facilitate the DNA repair mechanism, or that can lead to effective DNA repair, right? There are again several are there, but in concise there are these five or six types. The first one is type of DNA damage. Very important. What type of DNA damage has happened? Depending on that, how much it is to be repaired, it is dependent on the damage, right? Wound हुआ है तो कितना damage हुआ है उसके ऊपर हमारा result prognosis we can say, right? So type of DNA damage. Next is cell type and the age of the cell. Third one is extracellular environment. Fourth one is availability of DNA repair proteins and pathways. Fifth is cell cycle properly, whether it is happening in a right way, properly cell cycle chal raha hai ki nahi, that cell cycle. And the last one is epigenetic modifications. Epigenetic modifications. These are the six important factors that influence the effective DNA repair, right? Now, when we look into this, type of DNA damage may not be in our control, it seems, when we look into that. But others like cell type and age, extracellular environment, the DNA repair proteins and pathways, cell age or cell cycle, epigenetic modifications, these can be in our control. These are actually in our control. How we will see. But type of DNA damage is also in our control, right? Nidana Parivarjana. By doing Nidana Parivarjana, we can control type of DNA damage, because it is the etiology. If etiology, particular type of etiology is going, then particular type of DNA damage will be happening. Now, when these Nidana Parivarjana, when we avoid the exposure, chances of preventing DNA damage is there, but it's very difficult. So we need to go for other things. So we'll see what actually can be done from Ayurveda, right? So whether Ayurveda has any agent, any medicines that can repair DNA, or is there anything that can we can say that it can repair the DNA damage? What do you think? Yes, there is one concept. There are some drugs. The word Garbhastapana. You may be knowing the word Garbhastapana, right? Right? Garbhastapana Dravyas, huh? Garbhastapana, Shonita Stapana. There in that, and even in Sharirasthana also, Acharya Charaka has explained Garbhastapana. See, what is Garbhastapana? What is Garbhastapana? This is the importance of reading commentaries. Now, what Chakrapani says in Sharirasthana, while commenting on the Garbhastapana Dravyas, he defines what is Garbhastapana. But he says, संप्रति स्थितस्य गर्भस्य संप्रति स्थितस्य गर्भस्य गर्भोपघातक भाव प्रभाव खंडकत्वेन यत् पुनः स्थितिकारकम तद गर्भस्थापनम उच्यते. I have made them in different colors. Like संप्रति स्थितस्य गर्भस्य means fertilization is taken place. This is about fertilization. That is why focused on that. It's even in non-fertile condition also, not related to the fertilization. There also mechanism is same drugs can be used even in cancer prevention and all, right? In cancer prevention and all, or other where DNA damage can be needed to be repaired or to be prevented, there these mechanisms, these drugs can be used. Okay, samprati sthitasya garbhasya, fertilization ho gaya, yeah, even pre also is explained. In Stree before conception, in Purusha before conception, like in the Stree Bija and Purusha Bija, there also repair can be done with the same Garbhastapana. Now, what it says, Sthitasya Garbhasya, fertilization has taken place, we will consider that. Okay, that got exposed to Garbhopaghataka Bhava. Consider DNA damaging agents. Etiology that is sufficient enough to bring some damage in the DNA. Okay, Prabhava, and that has brought, Prabhava means effect. That exposure to Garbhastapana Dravyas or DNA damaging agents has brought some damage in the DNA. That is Prabhava. Khandakatvena, Khandana means eradicating, removing, neutralizing, eliminating, right? So, eliminating the effect of Garbhastapana, Garbhopagata Bhavas on Garbha or its Stree Bija and Purusha Bija. That is, the DNA damage that has occurred due to exposure to DNA damaging agents, Khandakatvena, by eliminating that, Punaha Sthitikarakam, Yat Punaha Sthitikarakam, which brings back to the sthiti matlab normalcy, which brings back to the normal DNA or which brings back the normal DNA. That is called as Garbhastapana. How beautiful it is, right? How beautiful it is. What is Garbhastapana? Garbhastapana is something which a DNA damage has happened in the body on exposure to Garbhastapana Dravyas. That damage is repaired and normal DNA is brought back, or it is the DNA is completely repaired. That is called as Garbhastapana. Now, when we look into Garbhastapana, why it becomes, why we fail to, just a minute, why we fail to believe these concepts? Because when we look into the drugs that are explained as Garbhastapana in same Sharirasthana, अत ऊर्ध्वम गर्भस्थापनानि व्याख्यास्यामः. येन्द्री ब्राह्मी शतवीर्या सहस्रवीर्या अमोघ अव्यथा शिवा अरिष्टा वाट्यपुष्पी विश्वक्सेन कांता चै इत्येषाम् औषधीनां शिरसा दक्षिणेन वा पाणिना धारणम् एताभिश्चैव सिद्धस्य पयसः सर्पिषो वा पानम् एताभिश्चैव पुण्ये पुण्ये पुष्ये पुष्ये स्नानं सदा च ता समालभेत्. In all means, one has to get exposed to these Garbhastapana drugs. How wearing will change? It has got its own influence. You may be knowing why Langali Sutra, like paste of Langali is applied to the thread and it is tied around the waist in pregnant lady and it eases the delivery. Delivery that sets in labor action, labor, right? Dharana only, even dharana also. So, but important thing is when you look into these ingredients, they all are mostly Prithvi and Jalamahabhuta dominant. They all are mostly Prithvi and Jalamahabhuta dominant, and if you study them individually, you will not find a single study or single reference where you will directly get that this ingredient has got anything to do with DNA. Nothing, because we will be searching for them. Right? So then what will happen? We feel like, Arey yaar, Shatavirya, or Satavirya or Sahasravirya, Yendri, Brahmi, they don't have any direct reference that they are going to repair DNA. Even in contemporary studies also, we don't find anything. Not at all. We will not find any studies. So then what happens? We start not believing. We start ignoring such concepts. But basically, when we look into the key factors that influence the perfect or effective DNA repair are other things. These all are acting on that. Now, what I told, most of these are Prithvi and Jalamahabhuta dominant. Our body itself is Prithvi and Jalamahabhuta dominant. Right? Our body itself is Prithvi and Jalamahabhuta dominant. Right? So, that extracellular environment, protein and pathways. Next, epigenetic modifications. All these are nothing but controlled by Garbhasthapana. What about others? You can see type of DNA damage, prevention of etiology or Nidana Parivajana, avoiding the exposure. Now, cell type and age. Type, no, not possible. But age of the cell and cell cycle are regulated by Shodhana. We all have studied, right? Rasayana and Shodhana, what they do? They regulate the age of the cell and cell cycle. Right? Next comes cellular, extracellular environment, availability of DNA repair proteins and pathways, and epigenetic modifications. These are done by Garbhasthapana Dravyas. This is what is the beauty of Ayurveda, my dear friends. So if you want to understand more about the genetics in Ayurveda, I have a full, almost an hour long video in my YouTube channel, Dr. Mahesh speaking, that you can see. Now, why we are discussing these things now? Why I am telling these things? My dear friends, the needs of the healthcare needs are changing. We need to change our mindset and approach according to the changes seen in the healthcare industry or healthcare system. So for that purpose, we need to change our mindset. That is why, old roots, new fire. Same topics, we need to approach with, refined knowledge, and then we can use them, because genetic disorders are one of the most important or dangerous. Even they can disable a country also. That type of diseases. Prevention is the only key. And in modern science, other than preventing the exposure, there is no option. But Ayurveda has got a very good concept, Garbhasthapana and Garbha Samskar. Right? We need to use them. We need to study them in detail. So, hope you understood, and it was interesting to learn. Thank you for watching. See you again in next video. Namaste.